Good day and welcome once again to Moments with Dr. Steve. Had a bit of a technical glitch there. Don't really know what happened, but the show must go on. The show must go on. And we're going to be talking about and working through the Writer's Covenant composition and compilation, one of my great pieces of literature. And as I was speaking just a moment ago, I was talking about, and if you didn't hear that, or if you did hear, forgive me for the repetition, but I my computer froze on me, and that was frustrating to me. But I was telling you that what we're doing is I've looked at the kind of the whole compendium. There's a big word. The whole spectrum of topics and the approach that we're taking. We're literally giving you a brick by brick, day by day, sentence by sentence, phrase by phrase, way to begin to build your great pieces of literature that are buried inside of your soul. And so every single day we're here, and as often as I can, about 8 o'clock every single morning, I will be presenting on Monday through Friday, let me say it like that, the work that I have presented. Yesterday we left off by talking about setting the table, and we reminded you that if you're a tale builder, if you're a writer of merit and punch and tenacity, if you're a creator of woes that seem unthinkable, you have opening salvos. The universe is giving you opening salvos. In this segment, we're going to talk about what it's like for Americans to be at risk and how friction is becoming a part of our daily life. I can't talk to anybody anymore whose life seems simple. It's just been an amazing turnabout that's happened over the last couple of years. And the competition for resources, we're going to get into all those topics in depth in days to come. But today we're going to talk about mean kids. And we have this belief, let me say it like this, I have operated under this belief, and I have held this presumption that all people, and especially the bullies and the maladapted, one day would grow up and would come to agree with me in the way I saw life. The life of a Christian person that seeks redemption, that accepts responsibility, that seeks little to no harm in other people's lives, and when they do find harm, they redirect themselves. And I have been holding on and clinging to that belief that people could change and that redemption was possible, and I still hold that. And I won't ever forego that. But what we have to remember is that this centering preconception that all people, even the most malevolent and harmful, one day will find grace and peace. I'm beginning to realize that may not always be the case. And it seems contradictory, I know, but this is how great literature is built. I have managed my days around the centralized hope that everyone, even the most heinous and eventually, the most harmful, would eventually come around to my point of view. Christianity and operating blind spots. Christianity and operating blind spots. The largest offenders in this Christian echo chamber of maple syrup thinking are people like me, Christians and Christian thought leaders, who operate under this weird premise that eventually everyone comes around, lines up like children at an ice cream kiosk, and comes to agree with my point of view. And what I'm learning and what I've learned in my life is nothing, and I mean nothing, is further from the truth. It is this myopic and really lazy series of thoughts that usher in the presence of evil and provide evil with a province to occupy, take control over, and then for it to become a no-fly zone for anyone who disagrees with it. The mean kids. The truth is, there are mean kids in the world. The truth is, there are mean and harmful men and women in the world. The truth is, there are systems of thought that are pervasive in that they seek to infiltrate and then permeate in pervasive and damaging ways our lives, our children's lives, our governments, and even our religious convictions. Sellouts. Sellouts. The hard truth to come to grip with, and that we're seeing with such prevalence right now, are the numbers of politicians and political leaders and religious leaders and university provosts and chancellors and union leaders and on and on and on the list goes, that have taken the bribe. They took the bribe. Now, these monies that filter into these universes are not caged or presented as bribery. They are meaning these large-scale contributions and gifts and donations are delivered as grants or as acts of patronage. And these grants and acts of patronage look like money's given ostensibly to provide research to laudable causes and issues. Money's contributed to build curriculum. Money pushed forth to fund and finance chairs that provide teaching into perpetuity. Money's offered and money's received that take the edges off of financial squeezes and provide large amounts of comfort and reliability, sustainability to many generations yet to arrive. Now here is the sticky taffy. Here is the sticky taffy. What is not spoken, what is never spoken, what is never suggested is that these funds come with strangling entanglements, apron strings, if you will. What we're witnessing in our nation, I live in the United States, I don't know where you live, are conflicting commitments and clashes of obedience and allegiance. If you accept such funds in large scale, or your predecessors have done so, and you assume the chair of fill in the blank, or you become the provost of the fill in the blank, is your allegiance to the United States of America or to the funders who made your life, your institution, your educational, occupational place possible at the kind of scale and impact that you have been able to work at? I want you to think that through if you're a writer. Heroic figures. As writers, as creatives, we plunge into the depth of understanding that these causative factors are the primordial societal goo from which emerge great heroes. Life takeaways. There are those of us who seek only good. There are those amongst us who wish only harm. There are those of us that seek compromise and peace. There are those amongst us that see no compromise and seek no peace other than their point of view. There are those of us who seek and believe that all can live and coexist. There are those living amongst us who seek and will only accept submission. There are those among us that believe that peaceful outcomes are our main objective and goal. There are likewise those amongst us who rely heavily upon the edge of the sword and the tip of the bullet to extricate at any cost the change that they seek. And that, my friend, is the wellspring that really delivers great literature. I hope and pray that you listen and that your brain starts to marinate and that you begin to think about the kinds of characters that you need to build and the kinds of tales that you need to craft, wherein a hero emerges amongst and because of such societal goo. If you want to talk, send it out. If you don't, absorb the content. Enjoy the content. Let it marinate in your own soul and see where it is that God takes you. Till next time, I remind you to go to thoughtpros.com. Start the course. Start the course. Start. Don't linger another day. This is Moments with Dr. Steve. I'm Dr. Steve Bonenberger. Travel far, my friend. Travel far.